Hello and welcome to Business on the Wire. The year 2020 and accusations around the pandemic led to a strong anti-Chinese trade wave across the world. But there's one name that's been singled out for a backlash: Huawei, a tech company with its fingers in diverse pies from telecom infrastructure to handsets to chipsets. What's the Huawei story and why are countries stonewalling this tech giant? To understand the importance of Huawei, it's also important to look at why this name matters. As an industry veteran tells me, today technology dominance is the fundamental power a country has. Think of global development as a crisscross of powerful highways, where those who create, build and scale that technology are the ones who in fact own those highways. In a race to build tech muscle, nations and organizations must move fast, but more importantly, it requires years and years of spend when you develop technology, both in terms of huge amounts being spent on R&D, extremely large investments are done right in advance with no real guarantee of profit. If the profits do show up, it's actually after a painstaking cycle of 5 or 6 years of giving time, money and commitment to the cause. Enter Huawei, that was suddenly moving faster than any other player. And the insinuation or allegation that came to light was this: no company can drive tech this fast unless they clone or copy what other nations and firms are doing. Industry insiders point to two overarching concerns around Huawei. While there is no concrete proof, these remain the key conflict points for the tech firm. Number one, Huawei is not a natural commercial company that thrives on ordinary business practices. It's actually been heavily funded by politicians who are part of China's Communist Party. The firm is merely a tool used to take technology that belongs to others and copy it. And the reason why Huawei has been able to ramp up 4G and 5G so swiftly is simply because they followed unethical business practices. Number two, the other major concern is around Trojan horses in a sense. Telecom infrastructure, when deployed in any market, can actually put Trojan horses or concealed data that can spy. Experts believe data is getting siphoned out either for military intelligence or sensitive business information. Started way back in 1987, Huawei's ownership is hotly debated. The company on its part says it's entirely owned by its employees and no outside organizations, including any affiliated with the Chinese government, actually own shares in it. Of course, the ultimate thorn in the bush when it comes to issues of trade is money. The competitive disadvantage that US-based companies may have actually started facing due to the dominance in the tech space was swiftly taken by Huawei. When US President Trump came to power, stakes were pitched for an all-out battle for technology dominance. Huawei and its chief financial officer Meng Wanzhou face criminal charges in the United States. In fact, the charges include theft of trade secrets and violations of sanctions on Iran. With the arrest of Huawei's CFO, America tried to assert its own dominance. American officials have also been urging other governments now to completely bar Huawei. Their argument is that opening up to the tech giant means tons of sensitive data could be exposed to Chinese intelligence gathering agencies. Which brings us to the here and now for India. India has not been able to push through on tech and telecom in a big way. As one telecom watcher commented, Indian entrepreneurs seem to get caught up with alternate business ideas like selling vegetables or making oil. Cutting-edge tech development can only be done with and over long periods of time with deep focus on research and development. Till the start of 2020 though, India was actually willing to engage with China and Huawei and keener still not to rock the boat. So when bids were opened for 5G, the Indian government allowed Huawei to bid. Perhaps the expectation was that allowing it into the list of potential bidders would assuage the Chinese side and then the company could be disqualified or disbarred on the basis of some bureaucratic technicality. But the border incident has changed everything. Tense relations between China and India have now moved from the threat of a slap to an actual slap. China grabbed land that was India's and India has now been pushed into a corner. The situation for the impending 5G trials is now very tricky. All operators are partnering with one of the two Chinese vendors, That's Huawei and ZTE. The Intelligence Bureau has also reportedly hardened its position on both remote access and on data storage. So what are India's options now? Most analysts agree that India's strong point has never been its tech insight. What India has is an enormous market. It's the number one draw for anyone looking to enter this space. And here's where we can play our leverage in the electronic manufacturing space. The last big manufacturing hub was the Chennai plant, started by Nokia, which was then shut down in 2014 following a tax dispute with the income tax department. After the ruling BJP has come to power, the feeling is that manufacturing has become very weak. It's possibly a combination of bad advocacy, industry lobbies, and a lack of understanding. All that saw India lose many precious years. The hope is that the border controversy may have changed things. In November last year, India lost the export incentive case filed by the US at WTO to appeal against the ruling. Essentially, America had challenged many of India's key export subsidy schemes, and all existing policies that give benefit to domestic firms had to be unwound. It may just have been a blessing in disguise. Where previously SOPs were given out to anybody and everybody, firms that took the subsidy and then delivered hardly anything in return, now money will have to be given to only those entities that will have to create value on ground. The key questions to ask at this point are these. 1. Will the Indian government stand firm on taking the security concerns around Huawei, or will they choose the middle path of placating China and doing a U-turn on tech policy yet again? Number 2. Can India leverage this opportunity with smart policy thinking to bring in investment from non-China markets to actually come in and build serious manufacturing muscle? Are we ready for a strong retaliation from the Chinese side on the Huawei issue is the third point. Where India could move with ease a few years back, now the situation is urgent. Indian businesses have always thrived on regulatory arbitrage, tripping over tax loops, circumventing bureaucratic red tape. We've had nothing by way of innovation in the last many years. If we are serious about taking on tech giants like Huawei, it's time to be nimble, consistent, and clear with policy. Thanks for watching.